June. If Pete got to get off, he got to get off. Nah, listen, hey, welcome back to Offside Podcast. I'm joined with June and my man Pete. Pete's been with us at Present the Play Call every now and then, so decided to bring him on tonight. How you fellas doing today in this fine January 4th of 2024?
Good, man. Can't complain.
That's
Doing
what's
good, man. Doing good, bro. It's a new year. You know what I mean? So just blessed at the end of the day, man. Blessed we could do stuff like this at the end of the day, you know?
Yo, I got a question, man. Who would have thought? Like, I know growing up, man, I would look at 2024 like that's so far away. Like in 90 something, you're like 2024. What? And I don't know. I used to look at how old I would be this old, this late in the game. And when the clock struck 12, and I'm like, yo, it's 2024. Like, it's really, this is shit we used to think about. Like, yo, that's crazy when I get there. Now I'm there and I'm like, it's bananas, bro. Like, times has really changed a lot, bro. It's crazy. Oh, they go.
Yeah, it's pretty real.
There goes iPhone right there, June. iPhone coming in. You gotta change that name, Playboy. That shit. I'm gonna greet him. Watch. When he comes, camera on.
June, your background is.
You like it, Pete?
No. It's dope. It's backwards though. It's
Oh,
like,
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta
It's
change
mad
the
weird.
setting.
So mine is it looks good here. It's kind of weird.
No, you gotta
let me
change the
it.
setting, bro. When you go to your thing, it's gonna ask you if you wanna
Mirror it, right? I think
mirror some shit. So like right,
There you go.
There you good. You good.
That shit is dope. I like that.
He got
cool.
that in a coin, bro. Like he has in a China's coin.
That's cool.
Yeah. He makes coins, bro. This dude is a creative motherfucker. He made my shit. Look, I don't know if Jumbo showed, but you ain't been to. When's the last time you went to Florida? Oh, you was in Florida. What
The
about
Miami
a month or so?
game?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was with June then.
Yeah, he made this for me. He designed it.
Yeah, man. It came out dope, man. I was afraid, and I was like, man, I hope he likes it, man, because we did it, and I was just trying to surprise him, and
I'm gonna
he
order some
opened the
more.
box. Yeah.
When I get it, I'll give you one.
Nah, that's what's up, y'all.
Yeah. Hey, iPhone, bro, you gonna turn your camera on, or we just gonna do iPhone the whole time we recording? You hear me? Oh shit, yo, hit him up, June. Tell him on mute so we can start.
Where James at, man? I know you're not doing that so cute, boy.
Nah, I'm gonna have to edit this joint because I'm gonna leave it like that. Fuck it. Hey, my shit is all official tissue like a referee. There you go. There you go, man. What's up, bro? Yo, I know him, June. I thought he was in Hawaii, bro.
No, that's AJ that's in Hawaii.
Oh, my man, he a Ravens fan. Pete, how you doing?
You see it coming to fruition, man.
Hey, I see it. Hey, is that Michael Jackson in the background, brother?
That's Mike and the Goons, man.
In the goons. All right, man. Well, look, I don't know if June sent you the topics. I sent it to him. He's actually on the share. And I sent this my man Pete so we can all be ready. So I know you're not ready because he ain't sent it to you, but I know
he's ready. Even when I'm not ready, I'm ready.
There you go. You ain't got to get ready. So the first question is, with the playoff picture looking the way it does, which team do you think is the favorite, and what team could be a sleeper, both AFC, NFC? I'm going to start with my man down here in the right, the Ravens fan, the Lamar fan. And which one is your favorite AFC, NFC team, and which one is your sleeper for each side?
We got to go Ravens, obviously, and San Francisco.
Okay.
Sleeper, definitely Cleveland, man. Cleveland dangerous right now. Flacco in there came in at the perfect time on some miracle shit. And he doing what he do, man. He put up some big games. And Dallas, you already know. I just hope they can get over the hump, man.
Why you pick Dallas?
Just because, they got a different core. They've been pretty good this year. They beat some solid teams, and I think the pressure is on Dak more so now, because if he don't achieve anything this postseason, it's like it's never gonna happen. This is now or never. But I'm picking him as a sleeper. Not saying that I believe that they're gonna do it. I'm just saying now the pressure is at the max for Dak. Like it's no more excuses. He can take accountability every postseason that they lose and say it's on me. Okay, we know that now. What you gonna do now? We already know it's on you. You're the leader of that team. They trust in you, and you got a core, man. You got some talent around you. So I don't see why you can't get it done. And if you can't, it's over. Like you have no more ground to stand on right now.
Okay, Pete, what's yours, bro?
The favorites, I think it's easy to just, it's a given that it's Baltimore and San Francisco. Just seeing what they did to teams, I think those are like the consensus favorites. Agree with the Browns being the sleeper in the AFC because that defense, and then Joe Flacco, he's playing with no pressure, so I think it's easier for him to play like that, especially in the play. They're playing with house money right now. He's the fourth quarterback, I think. So, but the Ravens, seeing what they did to Seattle and Detroit when they went to Baltimore, and seeing what they did to San Francisco when they went out there. And the sleeper for me for the NFC is either Detroit or the Rams. The Rams are playing good. They're playing, within themselves. I don't see them trying to do too much. And they got an easy game. They got who they got this week? Oh, they got San Francisco, but San Francisco's not playing anybody. So and they're in already too. So, but those are my two sleepers. If anybody, Cowboys, I think if they went to San Francisco again, I think it's going to be the same thing.
Okay, June.
In the in the AFC, right? I'm gonna leave my NFC to last, but I'm gonna go with the AFC. I'm gonna have to go with the Ravens right now. The AFC to me is the favorites, and I'm gonna go with my main man, 300 grand, and the Cleveland Blue Hens, to go ahead and you know what I'm saying, hey, the Blue Hens right here, to be the sleeper, man. And I think the crazy part, 'cause I think Cleveland beat Baltimore earlier this year, which will make the playoff picture a little bit more interesting if they play in the first round or if they see each other in the second round. So that'll be a pretty crazy matchup in the playoffs in the NFC, which would be crazy interesting. So those are my two in the AFC. And in the NFC, I still think that the powerhouse over there right now, like I said before, I think they proven themselves, which is the 49ers. They're proving themselves to be the powerhouse in the NFC. However, I think the sleeper is not the Cowboys. They are not it. They can't play outside, and they can't play indoors without the certain reps. So you take both of those two things away. The sleeper is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles were, 10-1, 11-1 before the debacle happened, and those are the sleepers because once they get it together, that team was 10-1. So the chemistry lines up just like they did the first 10, 11 weeks or whatnot. I mean, then I think in the second round the 49ers got something forward to looking at it. And if that happens, then I think that we'll see the Eagles versus the Ravens in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I feel like that's a stretch. My AFC is gonna be the Ravens. My sleepers, the Browns. I think the Browns are with a strong defense and a quarterback that's playing like you said, house money. And they're outside. If they can play outside, they can play inside.
Yeah.
They've beaten teams that we thought, are the teams to beat. And it's scary. Now on the NFC side, I'm gonna go 49ers. And I'm gonna tell you something, June. If your team didn't drop 4 of the last 5 games, I probably would have picked them as a sleeper. But one thing that I feel that they haven't done in the coaching side, and we're gonna transition to that after this, is I don't see no changes. So with no changes, I can't see y'all going and doing what y'all been doing at the beginning of the season. But I think the Rams are a sleeper. I think the Rams they getting right into shape at the right time. You know what I'm saying? They coming together. The defense is playing. Donald is still out there. This Nuka Pakua, whatever his name is good. Like having him and Cup together is like it's a cheat code in Madden, bro. Like that's like you got two receivers that are fast and can catch the ball. You can put them in the slot. You can put them out wide. And who do you cover, Cup or him? You got to pick your poison, right?
That's a fact.
You know, and then Higbee came around. He's starting to play good, and Stafford is still Stafford. You know, so I think for me would be the Rams, but you know, it's still
running back.
We'll see.
Don't forget about the running back, yo.
Yeah, who's their running back? I don't even know now.
Kyron Williams.
Yeah, Kyron Williams. He's the one that gave the football to his mom, and the dude took it. His mom was like, "Yo, it's my shit. Give my ball back." You know what I'm saying? But that's my pick. But as we talked about transitioning, and we talked about changes, right? AJ Brown said that it's not the coaches, it's the players on the Eagles struggles. Do you disagree? So I'm gonna leave June for last because you know that's his team. So I want everybody to come through. So I'm gonna go to Pete first. Pete, when AJ Brown said that it's not the player, it's not the coaches, the players, do you agree or disagree and why?
Yo, couldn't disagree more, yo. Look at the squad they got. I mean, I know the secondary isn't like, you know, top notch or whatever, but both lines, offensive, defensive line, are top notch. Pass rush, even I know they've been run on this year, but the defensive tackle rotation they got is official. I don't agree with that at all. And then look at their receivers: AJ Brown, Goddard, Devontae Smith, and then Jalen Hurts. Whatever running back you put back there, they got players all over. So I think they got the record they got, and they got as far as they got last year because of the players they got. I got a friend at work who's an Eagles fan. I've been telling her, yo, her coach is not it. Your coach is not it, yo. It's the coaching to me, 100%. Sirianni is a fraud, bro. Fraud. That's it. I've been saying that for a minute. That's all. I got off my soapbox.
Your go, fam. What's your take on it? Man, we're leaving June for last on this one.
I'm gonna agree. All right, and reason I'm gonna agree is this: over the past 2 seasons, when you got that kind of success, it should be second nature for you to make decisions on the fly in game to win games. If you're relying on the coaching staff at this point in the season to make, and I get it, play calling is paramount, but you got to be able to be the coach on the field at that point. They have success, like June just said, they was 10-1. What happened that your mentality went away from that winning, that winning attitude that bad that you dropped for the last 5? I always go with, I could blame the coaching if you had the talent and you never won anything and you never had success in the season, but I can't blame the coaching staff if you've had the last 2 seasons where you damn near dominated the regular season. You gotta figure it out on the field, because teams are gonna figure you out. They're gonna start throwing stuff at you that you haven't seen, but that success is on the field. You got to be able to adapt and switch it up a little bit. I think that they did a good job of deflecting on that question. I remember that last week when he said, that was on us. That ain't on coach. We messed it up. Don't deflect. Just call it a spade and say, as an organization, we messed up because we're getting away from the winning football that we played. And even if you see something blown up or plays that's terrible, you're able to go back to the coaching staff and adjust and say, hey, this is what we see. We ain't win 11 or 10 games not communicating it and figuring it out. So I definitely agree with him saying that's on the players. They got to figure that out. Nobody's on that field but them.
So I'm going to go
one more thing, Frank.
Go ahead.
One more, I'm sorry, Frank. One more thing before. I forgot what they were playing on. If it was in the Cowboys game or the Seahawks game, they said it in one of those games that they have the least amount of motion on offense in the league. And you're not confusing anybody by not doing that type of shit. So that's why I can't. They got ballers on each side of the ball. Yeah. Offense, defense. So that's why I point the finger at the coaches, bro. But my bad, Frankie. Go ahead.
No, that's what I was going to say. I was going to go coaching because they're not doing anything to disguise the offense. So what's the Eagles' identity this year? What are people scared of when you coming off the bus and let's say you go to Lincoln Field or they get off the bus coming to your stadium? What is your game plan right now? Who are you when you look at the 49ers, you look at McCaffrey. Oh, we're gonna have to shut that down. And we got to slow down Debo. You know what I'm saying? And Brock, and we could take that away and put pressure on Brock. He's giving us the ball, right? If you look at other teams, like Mahomes right now, it's like, okay, we just got to get at Mahomes, and these guys ain't catching nothing. I blame the coaching because I feel they don't do nothing to disguise or change the formation to get AJ Brown open or Ayuk open, not Ayuk, or Devontae Smith open, right? Excuse me. Looking at the beginning of the season, I heard, I forgot where I heard it. I think it was the Herd. And they said that the first year that Devontae, no, not Devontae, that Jalen had, he did good, but it wasn't as great as it could have been. Sirianni was calling the plays. The second year, it was the OC that they had that left, and he had a great season. So I asked June at the beginning, I said, bro, they're talking about your head coach and him calling the plays. How much is going to affect Jalen? And then, you know, Jalen's doubled his interceptions, turnovers from last year to this year. In a sense, it's like he's regressed and he's not that great. I go back to what my man Pete said. They don't motion. They don't move people around. With the Cowboys, as much as we know Dak isn't really, we question Dak. The problem is they move CeeDee Lamb out, you know? He could be slot, he could be out wide, he could come out the backfield. Look what they do with Debo and Ayuk out in 49ers. So when you got an OC that's disguising and not letting your defense get set to know, okay, I'm going this way, then, you know, I feel like you're not helping the team. But June, what's your take, man? Is the players or is it the coaches?
Oh man, you know it's tough, man, because I wanna put a little bit of blame on both. Um, I want to put a little bit of blame on both, man, because at the end of the day, you know, I mean, if you have the opportunity to change the play, because you could read the defense and see who's who in the zone, what's out there, because that's what you're educated to do in that position, then that's where the blame will go to when it comes to the offensive line. When you're calling them audibles or whatnot, or changing those plays. But it goes to the coaching, and and as much as I want to come hard on the coaching adjustments, I do think about the changes. I think about the effect that even I hated Gannon. I think I told you I never go away from that. I think Gannon was the primary issue in the Super Bowl. Pissed me off. Different story, another day. I think that Gannon, his departure, and Gannon's departure, and now we got a whole new different DC. I mean, you got to adjust to that, and not just that, but now you got to adjust to Jalen Hurts, adjusting to a new offensive coordinator. He was the quarterback's coach, however, we got a new offensive coordinator, and now Jalen is right back to starting with a brand new offensive coordinator. Things didn't go well, so guess what? Head coach started making some of the play calls, and what a lot of the blame, you know, Taylor's right back to the head coach, because I think the adjustments have been they haven't been done. They haven't been done accordingly, especially right now in the stretch. The team was 10-1, and I think we forget that the team was 10-1, and the team was 10-1, and they beat a few teams were over the record over 9 wins. So to say that the coaching is extremely horrible, I think is a little bit unfair, because the team was still 10-1 and they beat teams with a record over 9 wins, right? I think the only team in the NFL to do that, to point that fact out there. Now, the GM has been doing his job, right? You can't knock him because he's been doing his job. And then to see the late adjustments and trying to fix that secondary is there. It just seems like the coaching and the chemistry just isn't clicking, right? We go ahead, we sign Leonard, right? We go ahead, we sign Byard. And I think those two were critical signings and right now in our debacle. But like I said 2 weeks ago, these next 4 weeks were going to be very critical going into the playoffs. This loss to Arizona was extremely disappointing. You didn't just lose to Arizona. That's not it. You pretty much just handed Dallas the NFC East, and and you're you're first place in the wild card. I get you clinch, but it's not the same. And then you also give the 49ers the NFC, the first seed in the NFC. You know, that everything happened within 4 weeks. So poor adjustments the last 4 weeks for everything tailors right back to the head coach. So to answer your question, Frank, I blame the head coach, and I think AJ Brown is playing a political game with his answers. And I don't knock him. You know, you don't want to create that type of atmosphere in the locker room saying the wrong things. So, you know, as a player, he's saying the right things. But we could see to that transparency.
So,
hey, I do got one thing though. I'm sorry, I gotta ask that question.
go ahead.
So I don't want to make it a knock on Jalen, but whenever you have those issues in coaching, most of the time your star, your leader, is the one who challenges the coaching staff to implement changes, and he's the franchise. You got to be able, just like we saw with a Peyton Manning, and we seeing the same thing kind of happen to the demise of Russell Wilson, where you're not willing to challenge the coaching staff, and now it start looking like the big, like he's literally out of there. Like Russell gonna go. But if you look at his numbers, he was 7th in the league in QB rating. So a lot of the blame gonna get put on him. But I think that's due to the fact you're not challenging your coaching staff. You got to be a leader to the point where, as though to the detriment of your, or to the benefit of your team, you step up like, hey, look, we lost 2 in a row. We got to do something different. Let's we're going into the playoffs. Even if they lost the last 4, right? They knew they're going to get in. Let's do something different. Let's try something going into the playoffs. That way we can figure it out beforehand. Now, you don't want to go into the playoffs that first game or possibly figuring out that the game of the playoffs and you fuck. You got to figure that out now.
I was good. T, I'm glad you said you like you're in my mind. I brought when you said earlier about the players, right? And we brought up Jalen not making the right changes at the line. The problem is we forget Jalen's on his 2nd full year.
Yeah, he young.
He's young. You mentioned
no. This is his 3rd full year.
3rd full, but his first year he didn't really play like a full season.
Well, no. I'll tell you why I know, because I had him in fantasy. So his first full year, he was okay. I think that's when they went 7-9. They went to Tampa in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So the next year, which was last year, he blew up. Why? He got AJ Brown, and he was just fucking feeding this dude, yo. And then the defense was eating because they had all these leads. So I mean, I'm not an Eagles fan, but I know about Jalen Hurts because I had him in fantasy. His first full year, I had him in fantasy, and he was average.
So you say 3rd year, Peyton Manning, Brady, Breeze, Rodgers, Brett Favre, all these guys, Big Ben, they weren't who they were right away. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think people forget that Peyton went 3-13 his first season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right.
I think when it comes down to success, Brady was lucky because he ended up in a franchise that had a great defense, and it was just in a great system that fit him, right? I don't blame Jalen not changing because I don't think he knows what to change it to at the time.
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying? But I do agree with you when you say vocal, go to the head coaches, right? Because one thing Peyton, Brady, Eli, all these guys would do is, hey, I'm pretty sure that the relationship between them and the head coach, at least business-wise, because we know with Brady and Belichick, they outside of work, they wasn't close. But you see all the videos of them having hours of studying film and coming up with a plan for the offense that helps the defense. What I feel with the Eagles, because of the roster they have on offense, that is their defense. See what I'm saying? Because when, like, look at when you could put up points on a team, your defense, we already know you make a team one-dimensional, they gotta throw the ball. Boom. So we could sit back, rush forward, and I'm gonna cover down, and every once in a while I'm gonna blitz. But when they're not putting up the points and the defense on the field, and we already know they're struggling, that makes it harder. You know what I'm saying? If you pick up what I'm trying to put down, like sometimes your best defense could be your offense, i.e. the Chiefs, when they could put 35, 40 points on the team. They defense ain't got to do much. They just got to play coverage and get at the quarterback every now and then. You know what I'm saying? But I do agree. I just think that Jalen's not where Jalen needs to be to get to the line, read the defense, and say, you know what? I'm going to change the play to this. But you know what I put that on, James? Coaching. Because what is a coaching doing to help him study film and show the film and say, if you got a guy, I'm listening to a book, man, the Belichick book, and it says his dad used to scout teams and look at their feet and their hips and their hand movement and stuff when they were at the line. And based on what they lined up on is how he knew whether or not they were going to rush the passer or fall back into coverage.
But this where, remember, this where we said the importance of having that second string QB veteran to be in your coach's ear. They gave people crap for saying, why would you put this veteran behind certain starters? That's the reason. Because they can speak that knowledge into the players. They can sit down with the coaching staff and say, hey, that's what I'm seeing. You know what I'm saying? Even though Jalen might not be vocal, it's good to have a veteran QB on that sideline to talk to the coaching staff and make sure that they're making the adjustments, because if Jalen ain't vocal, somebody has to do it. That could be anybody.
Now I'm going to ask you a question. That's called what? Mentoring and coaching. Yeah. That's why you got him there. You know, it's mentoring and coaching. But with that being said, I do have a question for the NFC East guys. You know what I'm saying? Me and James going to sit back on this one and let these guys take it. Is Dak the most trustworthy quarterback in the NFC? I'm going to pitch it to June first. June, what you think?
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me just before you said in the NFC or just in the playoffs?
No, NFC, just NFC. Okay. Go ahead, June.
All right. All right, hold on. Say it one more time with the NFC.
Is Dak the most trustworthy quarterback in the NFC?
And that's what I thought you said. Is Dak the most worthy quarterback in the NFC? Trustworthy. You know, as crazy as this sounds, right? I'm not gonna sit here and be biased. Because right now, I mean, numbers don't lie. So in the NFC, Dak is the most trustworthy quarterback. He's not the refs. But I think the most trustworthy squad, they wear stripes. They wear black stripes on top of the white T-shirts or whatnot. So
that might be a fact.
But he's not them. So to answer your question, yeah, I think he is. He's made extremely less mistakes than what he's had in the last 2 years. And even though he was very criticized at the beginning of the year, especially after that debacle against San Fran, he's done nothing but brought that team right back to competition. And right now, on the verge of winning the East.
Pete, what's up? Is he the most trustworthy quarterback in the NFC?
Like June said,
in the NFC East.
The NFC East?
NFC. No. NFC. I just said.
Nah. You said the East.
No, he said the East guys, which is you and I. But he said the NFC.
Oh, hell nah, man. Shit.
You see, James, this is what I gotta deal with, James. This is what I gotta deal with.
Hell nah. James, can you believe that? I could have sworn he said the East.
No,
I almost thought you gave up on your man's real quick. I was like,
nah, man. I'm over here giving him credit based on the NFC. On the NFC.
No, bro. NFC, the National Football Conference. Which is he the most trustworthy?
No. My bad, dog. No. And the craziest thing is, I'm going off of this play, and even based off of his mistakes. The accuracy that this dude has had and the weapons that he has around him, you already know who I'm gonna go with. Hate to say it with this young man, Brock Purdy, and the lack of experience that he has had. He's been playing very dominant. So I have to go with him. I have to go with Brock Purdy, man. I'm sorry, man.
Pete, who you got?
Shoot, man.
I did hear you say NFC, so I knew. I'll give that credit, and that I hate Dallas more than any team, but I'm not saying it's Dallas. I'm not saying it's Dak, but like he said, he hasn't been as reckless with the ball as he has the past couple of years. So I'll give him that. It helps having CeeDee Lamb because Jesus Christ, dude.
I'm telling you,
my most trustworthy in the NFC.
Yeah.
Matt Stafford, bro.
Why?
Now I'll tell you why. Let me tell you why. Look at the receivers that have had some of the best seasons. Cooper Kupp, Calvin Johnson, and now Puka Nacua this year. Puka Nacua was a 5th-round pick, and now he's gonna have the rookie receiving record this Sunday if they get him 4 catches or whatever. All thrown to by Stafford, and Stafford was on shit teams in Detroit. And then what they said about last year when Cooper Kupp blew up like that, him and Stafford was having not when they won it. I'm sorry. Him and Stafford was having breakfast. They got on the same page on everything, and it was the Cooper Kupp show. So Cooper Kupp, Megatron, Puka Nacua had their best years. Who was thrown into them? Stafford. I like Purdy though. Purdy got the ill weapons around him, but to me, Stafford.
Hey, I'm going to change my answer, man, because I was going to say something. I was going to say something in the previous question when it came to the sleepers, and I completely slept on it. Right? Get it? So
I know who you're going to say.
I'm going to go with, you know what? I'm going with my main man, 400 grand, Baker Mayfield, man. We're sleeping on Baker.
I like Baker.
And we went over the stats and what he has been able to do, not just give Mike Evans his 130th 1,000-yard season, but this man right here, I mean, he resurged from the damn gutter, man. And he's brought that team to leading his division and into the playoffs. And I mean, it's a shame he's gonna play the Eagles and that's that. But I mean, shoot, man, he has a shot to go on, you know what I mean? And we went over his stats on the play call, and we were very, very surprised that that he wasn't in the conversation of MVP because he had very similar numbers to Dak Prescott.
Yeah. I like Baker. I like Baker.
I like Baker too.
And Baker could dance. I can't dance, so I like it. You know, he gets on there and begin with it. James, I ain't gonna ask you that question for the AFC side because we know it's gonna be Lamar. But
no, it's actually not.
He's going with Flacco, man.
Who you going with?
Oh, you said most consistent,
trustworthy in the AFC.
Trustworthy. Okay. Yeah. The reason why I'm not gonna say Lamar is because he's been hurt. He hasn't given us a complete postseason.
Okay.
So we're finally getting to see him every game healthy, but I can't give it to him yet because the season ain't even over yet. And that's my man. I think he's the MVP this season, but the most trustworthy, and it's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna go with Patty Mahomes, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Patty.
I almost threw up.
And you know what's behind everybody's looking at his little antics and shit. But we forgetting this dude young too. And we've been saying that dude was like the most elite quarterback in the league for a couple years. He's a sleeper. He's a sleeper. If Kansas City get a momentum going into the playoffs, and we already know Patty Mahomes can deliver in the clutch. Lamar ain't got a Super Bowl on his belt. Patty got a Super Bowl. Like, it's gonna be dangerous, man. The AFC is a dangerous fucking conference right now.
I can't go with Patty, bro. I can't. So I've said this, I don't know, for years now. They were so far ahead of their time in football. What I mean by that is they just had the best setup. Had a great coach, you know what I'm saying? Had a good offense. Remember that same team was in the playoffs, but Alex Smith couldn't get him over the hump.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Mahomes got him over the hump, right? And, you know, to me, it was timing. It's timing. It goes back to everybody. So Lamar never had the team he has right now. You know what I'm saying? And at one point, it was between the 49ers and the Ravens, the most riddled injury teams in the NFL, right? I mean, in preseason, you guys lost your whole entire starting offense, and you had to go revamp it in 7 days, right? So, But Lamar, even in that midst of all that, Lamar was a unanimous MVP. Boom. Cincinnati was not Cincinnati until they got Joe Burrow, and then look, they going to the championship. Buffalo, Josh Allen had probably been the most disappointing guy in the AFC for me because you built that team up. You've been there consistent. And now you still can't get over that hump. To me, the most trustworthy right now, this season, I'm gonna go Lamar Jackson, bro. Lamar has been playing lights out. Lamar got Todd Monken. This is their first season, and he's already playing better than he played last season. And I think a lot of people slept on the fact that Lamar's arm is Lamar's arm. That arm is arming. You know what I'm saying? He can throw because they got so used to him running. And now it's like, yo, now you seeing it. And to me, bro, this is the best. This is probably close to your last Super Bowl team. And I don't want to disrespect Ray Lewis and Ed Reed like that because that's pinnacle
Are
to
you
your
right? So I was about to bring that up too.
yeah,
The
and
defense
Suggs.
is kind of giving a boost to the offense and making them
Yeah,
look.
but that's
If you was
your
there,
identity. That's your identity as a Raven.
right?
It's tough defense, run ball, pass ball, play action. That's what y'all do. So to me, in the AFC, trustworthy is going to be Lamar. I'm Patty Holmes with this shit he do right here, bro. I want somebody to break his fucking fingers. It just
Right.
bothers me, bro.
I don't like him at all based on the little bullshit crybaby shit. But I gotta say, man, you still can't count that motherfucker out right now.
Yeah.
You can't count him out, but I'm gonna go back to what I said about the Eagles. They haven't got it together all season. Rashee Rice is finally coming through, and I had Rice on fantasy. It took him a while to get right, but I think next year this squad is gonna be killer. And Andy, you know what kills Andy Reid? The same thing that kills Belichick at times. His brain. You get too much in your mind. You start trying to do things, do extra shit. You're doing extra. When just get back to the fundamentals, you're gonna be okay. Last year in the Super Bowl, what happened? He went away from the run. He didn't do certain things, allowed the Eagles get that jump they got. But then when he went back to the run and did what was, look what happened. So with that being said, right? Ooh, this is perfect. This is so perfect. You brought up James, the MVP.
Ooh.
I think Lamar is a shoo-in.
I say Lamar. I'm sorry, my bad.
Yeah. I think he's a shoo-in. I think Lamar 5 touchdowns last week, and Lamar's been showing motherfuckers I am that guy. I'm him. But can Josh Allen make a last-minute push this weekend to get the MVP? Pete, I'm gonna start off with you.
Yo. Nah. I think this shit is a wrap. I think it's a wrap, yo.
We all saying no?
Yeah, hell no.
I don't think any, but it's he. I think against this. Not even looking at the 5 TD game last week, the 49er game, bro. That's when I feel he that shit was a done deal, bro. That San Francisco, when what they did to San Francisco, and he was in the middle of it. What he did to San Francisco, that to me was
disrespect.
He locked it up right there. And then last week was just like, yeah, check this out. 5 touchdowns. There you go. And now I'm not even gonna play this week because we fucking sold everything up already. To me, it's not even close. It's Lamar Jackson. No one has not Josh Allen doesn't have a chance. I don't think anybody does. It's over. Next year, maybe. This year, no.
So I guess we go move on to the next topic. Everybody on the same screen said, nah, it ain't happening. All right, look, man. So Lions, Cowboys was a big thing. The referees messed that play up, 2-point conversion. Lost them.
No.
And it's a big error because it affected the Lions more than it did the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
So what should the NFL do to get the referee calls more accurate? So the mistakes that happen in the Lions versus Cowboys game doesn't happen again. Now, we watched all games where a holding call maybe shouldn't have been called. A roughing the passer, we can talk about it. PIs, holding, stuff like that. So I'm going to start off with June. What can NFL do to make it more accurate, June?
I'll tell you what, man. They got to start utilizing. I mean, they they use New York for certain things, for certain play calls, especially in big games. Use New York for certain play calls in all the games. You're a $1 billion business here, man. You need to hire more staff. You need to give them more training. You know, shit. You know, these are the things that needs to be put in place because you're not just saying, hey, you know, we're gonna look into it. You're really putting the stinger in the future of what's going to happen in these playoffs, especially right now at the end of the season. And as much as it is critical at the end of the season, it's critical in the beginning of the season. Because just like I always say, that first loss in the beginning of the season will be a crucial loss and a crucial blow at the end of the season when you're missing the division or you're missing the playoffs by that one. So that I think utilize New York a lot more, and if staffing is the issue, I suggest you highly train them, and I suggest you put more you put more employees out there and more applications. I mean, shoot, I'll apply. Why not? Shoot, I'm pretty sure all of us will go out there. We'll get this job and get it
Pete's
going.
in New York already. He just drive down.
No, which let's go, man. Give us a tour, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I work a
that's
couple
my
blocks from the
suggestion.
office, yo. I work a
Yeah.
couple
Oh,
blocks
so
from
we're
the
good.
office.
We
All
are
right,
good.
Pete, what you think they should do?
From what I understand, the refs are not even full-time refs. Like they got regular jobs, and then on the weekend is what they do. One thing I never understood is, and the refs have been like bad, really bad all season. Why are they not allowed to get criticized? Like that's a fine after the game. If you say something about the refs, they're gonna fine you. I never really understood that. But you said that it affected that game. It affected the Eagles because the Eagles would have been. And this is before. Remember, they didn't play Arizona yet. They would have been in first place and wouldn't have had to worry about, oh, if we lose this game, Dallas is going to get the division because Dallas plays the Commanders this weekend. I think we all think Dallas is going to win that game. But just the fact that they can't be, I think full-time refs is what they need to do. And like June said, if you got to hire more people, if you have to involve New York more, that I think that should come into play as well. But Detroit really got fucked over because they're the 2 seed. If they win that game, they're the 2 seed, and Dallas, I guess the division winner of the East goes to the 3, but the 2 seed is big because they get 2 home games.
Yeah.
So,
What about you, James?
Man, there's a couple of things. So one, replay system should be at the discretion of the officials anyway, especially when it's calls that's going to decide a game or decide the sway of a conference, something like that. You got to be able to defer because some of the calls are tight. Like you can't see everything on the field, but if it's not definitive enough for you to call it the way you're supposed to, go to the replay. And 2, accountability, man. These refs are making some crazy calls, and then they'll come back and do a review and say, we messed it up. But where's the accountability? Find these motherfuckers like they do the players.
Yep.
Like, come on, man. These dudes getting away with saying my bad. You can't do that, bro. Like, you got to find them or give them another tool to use to get it right. And if it take, the momentum out of the game, cool, but at least you're not, fucking a team over based on one little petty call or something stupid. So they got to go to a better replay system, not just because the coach throws their replay flag. No, the ref should be able to say, look, we didn't get a definitive look at that. Let's go to the replay.
Mm-hmm.
It can't just be a flag. Because what if I ain't got no flags left and you fuck my call up and you send me home? Then it's on the referees, but all you get is the my bad the next day in an after action report. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I agree. I said on the play call, they need to hire more people in New York. And one thing I thought about when we was all talking was just mic up all the refs. Mic them up. Put a mic on them. That's the most cost-effective thing you could do. Give everybody a mic. And then in a situation like that, when you're saying that go back, what ref was that? He was the line one. Let's go to line one's mic. Play back the audio. And if you hear it, then you give the points. The other thing that I know, and me and Nikki from the play call, we've been going back and forth all day on this. She's like, oh, well, 70 reported. It doesn't matter. 68 reported, whether they call 70 or not, or 68. They could have threw 2 flags, but they didn't. They threw the one that said he didn't report. On top of that, they didn't cover. You're supposed to cover or something like that. You cover the guy that reports. So since they said 70 reported, that's what the Cowboys covered. Because they never said 68, they didn't cover him, which left them open. That's not a fault on the Lions or the Cowboys. That's a fault on the referees.
Yep.
The my bad shit shouldn't be. If they only refereeing when they got to play, then my man, you're not refereeing the next 2 games.
Yeah.
Or just because you take him off a playoff game, that don't matter. The damage is done. Like you
Yep.
said, not only did it affect the Eagles, the lines of the Eagles, it was a trickle effect, especially this late in the season. Normally, we see a lot of teams got their shit locked in already by this time. This year's a little different that you didn't have the number 1 seed locked in until the second to last week of the season. You know, normally by now, motherfuckers is resting the last 2 weeks. Oh, we're gonna play you 1 quarter, you know, or we got you sitting out and that's it. So I think that's what they need to do is just mic up all the refs. And that way, if I say, yo, I reported to Pete on the side, hey, just go to Pete's mic. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would do.
Real quick, Frank.
Go ahead.
You know, I know you know the answer already, Frank, because we talked about it. So Pete and James, really quick, for these mistakes to happen, how much money do you think these guys make a year to make these critical mistakes? If you had to guess.
You talking about like the average of an NFL official?
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me one number.
I say 100.
100K. Okay.
Yeah, there's 6 figures. I would say about 150,000, maybe from 150 to 200,000.
Yep. So they make $205,000 to make these critical mistakes, and up to 230 grand when they officiate the playoffs, right? So for this amount of money, you're gonna tell me it's okay to make these mistakes?
That's what I'm saying. You gotta find
what my issue is right there.
I mean,
find the shit out of them, man.
Listen.
Shit. Donate it to them retired CPO Chief Munoz, you know? Do something.
No.
You know, split it with
CPO mess. So I get some too. Nah, listen, so on the play call, we do this sometimes, man. And I don't like doing it because I try to keep what we did or do separate from this, right? But sometimes it pertains to it. So Pete, you didn't serve, but the rest of us, like James still in, me and June retired. We don't get a second chance for some shit. Like let you mess up on maintenance and you gun deck some shit, whether you knew you gun decked or not. Hey, you going to see the captain. You about to see the old man. I was an ordnanceman. James, what's your rate?
Cook, CS.
CS. June was a yeoman. He's about
flying. Probably combat.
Yo, Pete, yeomans are like secretaries for the Navy. But then he did career recruiter, right?
Hey.
But the point I'm trying to make, man, we make these mistakes in our prospective jobs. Nobody cares. You don't get the my bad. Let's do it. Let's try it again tomorrow. If James makes sure that the food isn't cooked the right way and motherfuckers get salmonella, he going up. If I don't make sure the bomb is done right so it could blow up on target and it was my fault or somebody gets injured because it's me, I'm talking to the captain. You know, and if June's writing, if June ain't training his people to write legit contracts in the Navy to get people in, and they out here fudging numbers, he going up. There's no way around it. You know what I'm saying? We don't get to say, oh, my bad, I'm sorry. I think these refs need to be held more. What's that word that we like to use? Accountable.
Accountable, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Accountable. Hey, see, P, we wasn't even in it. He knows it. He's committed to excellence and a fair treatment of all. I got 2 more questions, and then I'll probably freestyle a few because we actually doing good time. The next question is, and only because he's on with us, how do you feel, James, about Dalvin Cook coming to the Ravens?
Yeah, I saw the headline today, man. Like we said, you got to take those chances and add pieces to get you ready for the postseason. I think it's a good move, man. You got to. And when I seen it, I'm like, that shows your team that you're willing to take chances and add pieces. They get motivated by that. And like you said, that's defense, man. I ain't trying to compare him to Ray and Ed, but this defense, man, I'm telling you, bro, they motivated. Stuff like that motivates you when you know your coaching staff and GM is like, yo, it's damn near postseason. We adding pieces, baby. Like that's motivational, man. Like you gotta add pieces constantly.
Well, June, we know that your GM, what's his name again?
He adding pieces.
Howie, yeah, Howie's always adding pieces, bro. Yeah. He'll take all 4 of us if it's gonna help the offensive line, defense line better, or even the special teams. Because I ain't chasing nobody. I'm just gonna push the dude out the way. That's it, and then fall. But Hey Pete, man, do you think that this makes them even more favorites, adding
No.
a diverse running back?
No, I think it's just I think it's just a depth piece because they got Gus Edwards, they got Justice Hill. I think
Yep.
that's the good one. That's the 1-2 punch that they've been rocking with. Unless one of these guys gets hurt, then that's when I could see it maybe being a factor. But I think he's just look. They got Melvin Gordon on the squad, yo. Like
True.
he played in garbage time on Sunday. I think Dalvin Cook will probably leap in front of him for any type of snaps he may get. But to me, it's Gus Edwards and Justice Hill. It's a depth piece to me. That's it. I don't. They're already rolling. This is just like he jumped on the ride right now.
Yeah.
They're rolling right now.
All right, yo. So the next question, I'm gonna start with Pete on this one. What do the Bears do with the top pick?
Ooh.
I think they're gonna keep. I think they're gonna keep Justin Fields. I think they trade it because I know Caleb Williams is from Virginia. He's from the area.
Oh, he is?
The Commanders want him. I think what I would do is trade with the Commanders, or the Commanders should trade just to make sure nobody jumps ahead of them to get Caleb Williams, and then they go down to 2. They can't go too far down. I would think, so they could get Marvin Harrison Jr. But I think they keep and they have Marvin Harrison Jr. and they have DJ Moore and they have Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields' last couple of games been good.
Yeah, I think he has been too.
I think he's been really good the last couple of games. Give him the best receiver in the draft, and you get more picks going down the road. That's what I would do. That's what I think is gonna happen. I think they're gonna keep Justin Fields.
All right, James, what you got with it?
Same, man. So I think they gotta add a piece to complement the QB who's definitely like they're in a rebuilding stage. They gotta rebuild some pieces. I think you added the most dangerous receiver in the draft. If you can, you gotta go for that if you possibly can. And man, that dude, bro, I'm telling you, if they add Marvin Harrison Jr. and they're in a rebuild and they're gonna keep them for a long-term thing, that's what you do. You start talent young, build them. Just kind of like what your Jalen Hurts is, you build them. You already know it ain't gonna be off the rip. They ain't gonna be amazing, but the potential's there, so you got to craft that up. If they not looking to rebuild and get veterans, then you got to make the move now to trade some people who are worth something and get you a veteran QB or some veteran wides. But I think everybody's in the mindset now of start them young and get the best talent you can that you're gonna be able to possess for the longest period of time. So yeah, make that move. Do what you got to do to get Marvin Harrison.
All right, June. So, do you think Justin Fields did enough the last couple of weeks to save his job in Chicago?
100%. 100%. I'm gonna tell you why, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm not just talking about Justin too. I'm gonna talk about his head coach. I think Justin and his coach are doing enough to keep their jobs going into the next year. And I'm gonna tell you why. So the beginning of the season, they started off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They started out 1-7, right? The first 7. I'm sorry, 1-6. The first 7 weeks, right? And in the last 7 weeks, right? They're 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're 5-2, right? To start off 1-6, and then to end up 5-2, that speaks volumes. And you talk about not just the injuries and the chemistry that they have within that team, to turn that around and to somehow figure this thing out late in the season. You give the NFL 2 more weeks and you expand the season 2 more weeks, they'll make the wild card. And that's how crazy it would have been, because they could have been a Green Bay this year. That could have been them instead of Green Bay if they would have figured this out 2 weeks earlier. So yes, Justin Fields did enough. They keep that. They trade that draft pick away. They pick a crazy receiver, and they get a second chance at redemption. If not, they'll end up like old buddy from the Chargers. Chargers head coach, whatever his name was.
Staley.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Speaking of Chargers, I sent something in the chat of the play call where it says that Jim is signed in to go to the Jim Harbaugh is going to the Chargers.
I seen that.
$108 million. It wasn't official tissue. I only seen it in one thing on X, on Twitter, so I don't know if it's official. But if that's the case, if let's speak, if was a spliff, right? But Pete, what do you think that does for the Chargers if they get Jim Harbaugh coming off a great college season? He's been to the Super Bowl before, but coming off a great, hopefully wins the Natty this year and could walk out in the sunset. What do you think that does for him?
For him or for the Chargers?
Both. That's good. What do you think it does?
I mean, for him, it just adds to his resume because he wins everywhere. He was in Stanford, San Francisco. San Francisco was not good at the time when they hired him, and he had him in the NFC Championship game, and he went to the Super Bowl with them and lost to the Ravens, and then he goes to Michigan. So like that to me is just another. He's just adding to his resume there. But for the Chargers, I think it takes them from everybody thinking, oh, it's the same old Chargers. They're gonna blow the lead. They're gonna find a way to lose this. They're gonna find a way to not make the playoffs. It's gonna put them in a whole different light because finally they'll have a legit head coach that will be able to get them to not blow these late games like they're known to do. Like we all think they're gonna do every year. And this year they just bottomed out. But the last couple of years, they've been I don't know how many one-score games or close games they lost, but to me that's coaching too, and that's why he's gone. They they blew that lead in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You think
To the
Harbaugh
Jags.
does that? Nah.
To the Jags, yeah.
To the Jags. Nah, man.
So James, with that being said, right, my question to you, or I guess what I want to propose and see what you think, is we saw how Andy Reid had a good team, just needed the right quarterback to get him over the hump. Do you think that in this situation, they have a good team, they just need the right head coach to get him over the hump? And if so, do you believe that Jim Harbaugh can have an immediate impact? Because we talked about how teams got to build up, right? Oh, this team, like, Josh Allen and all that other stuff, they had to come up with the Bills. But do you think the Chargers have the team in place that if Harbaugh's coaching was going to get him over the head, next year they can possibly be in contention to win that division against the Chiefs?
I do. The biggest thing about football, obviously, is played on two sides of the field, man. So you got to have a balance. But I think him being there, knowing what winning looks like, and being able to show them what winning looks like he said, some of those games that they lost were W's. They blew it at the end. When you're able when you're able to show them how to get it done in the clutch and in the closing seconds of a game, that turns the whole momentum of your season around. Because now you're trusting your coaching staff. Trust is another one. If you could be talented as hell and not trust the coaching staff, play with a disgruntled mindset because you don't even want to play for the staff. Man, Harbaugh coming in there is nothing but I don't see anything. They already fucking up. But Harbaugh coming in there will only do nothing but make it better. And if he don't succeed in making it better, then I think that, that's a testament to the players as well. They got to look at themselves like, okay, if we believe we got the talent and the coach comes in and gives us a path and we don't execute, now we got to figure out where we lay that blame at. Because it's easy to point the finger at whoever. Now you got, as a player, I always say this shit, and I hate to switch topics about great players who lose in games or lose in big games, and then they fire the coach, right? If you're how can I say it? A veteran player, you know how to get it done. That's on you, man. A coach can't come on that like you can't come on that field and tell some of the greats how to get it done. It's already in you. You just got to trust that I'm gonna give you the right plays. You're gonna execute, and a lot of that stuff comes down to execution. So if Harbaugh can come in, get them to execute what they always say in the Navy, brilliant on the basics.
Yeah,
do the good shit right, block right, block to the best of your ability. You know what I'm saying? They talked about Shannon Sharp the other day about his ability to not only catch the ball as a tight end, but to block. Terrell Davis had crazy fucking seasons, and a lot of that was due to the basics. Fucking Shannon Sharp blocking for you, it's gonna be a good game. So Harbaugh's gonna bring a winning mentality. The momentum is going to be there. I don't see why it could even be anything negative. It's got to be positive.
You say when you brought up tight ends, man, you said that. You know, I'm a big fan of Rob Gronkowski. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I also like George Kittle. Yeah. I love George Kittle, and I think because George Kittle remind me of Gronk. I like blocking, pass protecting, blocking on the run game, tight ends. Where that's their primary. Their secondary is catching the ball out and doing they do. That's why I could never put Kelsey up there with Gronk because I don't think the two are the same. But I could say Kittle's up there. You know, I can give Antonio Gates, who's also a 2024 Hall of Fame finalist, like the nod and say, yo, because they earned their keep. Jeremy Shockey, when he was in the Giants, used to look for the hit. You know, this boy was crazy. He was slow up there, I think. He was looking for the hit. He's like, yo, no helmet? Fuck it. I'm gonna take this hit. But I do believe coaching makes a difference. I do. June, what's your take on it before I ask Pete a question and James a question from the play call that we did, and then we could wrap it up. But what's your take on it?
On which part of the question?
Harbaugh, I was talking about the tight ends, but Harbaugh going to the Chargers. Do you think it makes him instantly? Like we've seen Herbo, we think Justin Herbo's going to be he breaks records. Yeah, he has yards, he does this, but the team doesn't go nowhere. They got Keenan Allen, they got who's the running back?
Eckler.
Eckler. On defense, they got Derwin James, Asante Samuels Jr., Khalil Mack. They got Bosa. They got a team that I feel with the right person there, there's no reason why they shouldn't be winning. You know what I'm saying? Like it should be a monster.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Do you think that with that roster, can he make them immediate Super Bowl contenders? There you go. I didn't ask you that, James, but I'm gonna ask him.
I ain't gonna say immediate Super Bowl contenders. I say immediate playoff contenders. Because I think when it comes down to the Super Bowl, that's the mountain you got to climb and prove to us. Like I say all the time. But I think it makes me an immediate playoff believer. And as the season goes, then we could talk about that contender aspect, Super Bowl contender aspect of things. But yeah, I think just the name alone, the credibility alone, and him coming in there and doing his thing, I think that would change the entire climate of that locker room and that organization.
You know what I would love to see, and I know it's not going to happen because one person's ego is too big, and rightfully so. But it was like if Belichick went over there and did the defensive side of the ball, let Jim coach as a head coach, bro. With that defense, it's only not happening because Belichick's ego, but rightfully so. Listen, man. So last week, June, refresh my memory because today I went to Hooters for lunch and then I came home and I cooked. And when I cook, I like to drink. And then I've been in here drinking. And so yeah, I just want to know because I forgot the question, but it was a question about it had the quarterback joint when it had Marino, Montana, Warren Moon. What was it, bro? I can't remember the exact picture. Let me see if Bree could send it to me, right?
I want to say it was what quarterback would you take and who would you eliminate?
Yeah. I think it was who you would choose, not who you eliminate, who you would choose.
Yeah.
Out of those four?
Yeah, it was like between Dan Marino and
let me see if
Russell.
she could send me the pic. It's on the podcast. I just don't want to pull it up on YouTube and have to go through it. But it was that, and I made a mistake. No, I didn't make a mistake. I went with what I appreciate the most out of wins in a team. I went with Montana because he had the 4 rings. That was me. But I looked at Marino's numbers in the 80s, right? And I looked at Montana's numbers in the 80s. And I'll give you what I discovered then. But who would you take? If you had Marino, you had Joe Montana, Warren Moon. I can't think of the other fucking. There was like 6 of them, right?
Was it Randall Cunningham?
Who did your video? Hey, Chief, who did that?
Randall Cunningham.
Randall Cunningham. So it was Randall Cunningham, Warren Moon, Dan Marino, Joe Montana. There was more though. There was at least 1 or 2 more.
Elway, was John Elway in there?
Steve Young in there?
Nah,
Elway, John Elway.
That way?
hold on.
Was it Elway? Yeah, I think it was Elway.
I'm gonna tell you because I put it out today. So hold on. Let me go. Oh man.
Let me go.
Because it was only one game we did, right? Let me see. Hold on.
No, we did too, I think.
Hold on.
I did have a question though while you look for it real quick.
Go ahead.
But it may be a critical one to y'all, you know what I mean? And I just feel as though I have to ask because I want to get your guys' intake on this. And the question from me of the day is, do you think that my main man, 400 grand, Russell Wilson, got done dirty in the process?
Yes. Automatic.
Or do you think that he did the Broncos dirty in the process? Who did who?
I want to say Marino.
I think I say he's I said this before on the play call. I think it's a business. They saw that contract and it was like, yo, man, he's making way too much. Probably going on the downside of his career. He's already, hit mid-30s, I think, maybe 34. I don't think he's worth the money. They saw he wasn't worth the money. He probably would like to put that money into other parts of the team. They got to sign Surtain soon. I think they probably said, you know what, it's time to get a reset of the quarterback and build the team around him. Look at what San Francisco is doing with a cheap quarterback. The rest of the team is solid.
My man making
$800,000. Yeah, exactly. Yo, he got a roommate. He can't even afford to buy the lineman gifts.
That's crazy.
He's not. That is crazy. But I think they're looking at that as a blueprint. Like, yo, let's build up the rest of the team. See if we can get a decent quarterback in until we find the franchise guy. But getting rid of the biggest salary on the team that's not producing like he should. And this is not Russell Wilson from 5 years ago. This is Russell Wilson kind of on the downside. Even though he's playing good this year, he was playing good this year. But I think that I chalk it up to more of a business thing. And new leadership. Sean Payton coming in, didn't sign him to that contract, didn't trade for him. So I think a lot of things came into play, but
yeah,
business, man.
Yeah.
Never person.
I actually think that Sean Payton let the personal opinions get into the professional side of the game. That's what I think happened. And it's hard to get the best out of somebody when they know you don't got their best interests at heart, when they know you ain't gunning for them in the background, calling them out publicly. You don't do your quarterback like that, man. And like you said, maybe Sean Payton did it because he cares less where Russell Wilson goes. That's what I think. I think he was less hesitant to even say stuff about him because at the end of the day, he's giving you his agenda. Like, I don't want to coach this dude. Like, this dude's but it sucks because I think Russell still got some good ball left in him. Like, look at Flacco, man. 38 coming out here giving you crazy games. And Russell, like you said, he ain't played bad this season, but how can you play well when you know it just ain't like you ain't in it? Like, they ain't in it for you, and it could be both ways. He ain't in it for them because at the end of the day, he gonna get the short end of the stick anyway. It's a sad situation because Russ was considered at one point the MVP of the league, bro.
So I'll say this, man. Systems matter, right? System matter like coaching matters. And the Flacco situation, it just so happens that it fits Flacco's style of play.
Yeah, you're right. It's all about styles. You're right.
Yeah. And I think the Broncos was never Russell Wilson's style of play.
Exactly.
And I also feel that with the change of head coach within his second year there, he's not given a chance to get settled in to what is the style of play we're going to have, right? In certain situations, the CEOs of a company or a CEO of a command, they can impact how we do things. However, you might not see it right away because they sit up here and they have department heads that do their job, their bidding, right? But in sports, it's not like that. The head coach, as much as the head coach could be an offensive-minded head coach, And we see that with those teams that have great offenses, Andy Reid, Sean McVay, McDaniels, Shanahan, their offenses kind of don't really miss too much. They keep going consistent. You see defensive-minded head coaches who can sometimes coach up a stuff or have one side of the ball lopsided. I'm gonna use my team. Belichick's always had a top 10 defense, but the last 3 years, the offense ain't really been hitting. You know what I'm saying? A head coach can really impact the style of the team and what the team does. I think Russell went out there and did the best he could. I just think, I think Pete said it, he was never their guy. You know, they didn't, the Waltons didn't trade for him. The Waltons never said, I want him. I bought the team. I bought this house with the furniture already in it. And when I don't like certain furniture, I'm going to get rid of it.
That's it.
I'm going to bring in this good home decorator to get my house because I'm a multi-billionaire and I want my house to look like Jesus lived here. So I'm going to bring this guy or this girl in to fix up my house. And that's what they did. And I think that Sean Payton was very disrespectful to Russell. He didn't do it to Drew Brees in Louisiana. And one thing that Ryan Clark said, I'm from New Orleans.
Watch that.
I saw Drew Brees out there kissing babies. You know, everybody loves Drew Brees. And I don't think he pays for a plate of food or a drink in New Orleans because of what he did for that city and that state. So, yeah, you know, Sean treated him like the dude that gets with a girl with kids and he really don't want kids. But in front of the mama, this dude don't even care. In front of mama or behind the mama, he's smacking dude around and talking shit to him. So that's what I give it. But I got the picture here. I'm going to show you guys real quick. June, you got another question?
No, that was it. I just wanted to get that out of the way.
All right, so I went Montana because of the 4 rings, right? But it said, who was the best quarterback of the 1980s? I'm going to save my rebuttal after everybody goes. I'm going to start with me and June played already, so we don't get to play again. But James, what's your answer?
So this tough, man. This tough because I'm a Joe Montana fan. But if we're talking about who's the best, I'm gonna go Dan Marino. And the reason why I say that is the only reason we don't see the rings and hardware for Dan Marino is because of the team. Joe Montana had a fucking, like, that dude had an army out there, bro. But Dan Marino never really had those. I ain't gonna say that. He didn't have a team. They had him. Usually you got a team and they got you, but they only had him. Like he was their bread and butter. And it's kind of like not Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, man. When you got a star that's just no hardware, but just accolades out the ass. That's why Dan Marino's still holding all these records, because it's like they had him, but he didn't have nobody else. He made that team. But damn, that's tough. That's a fucking tough one, bro. Warren Moon too. Oh my God. Put some legend.
Pete, who you got?
It's a tie for me, and that's between Dan Marino and Elway. But I'll tell you one thing about Randall Cunningham. This is one of the illest plays I've ever seen. And I couldn't believe it, and I hated this dude at the time. Carl Banks going for the sack, took out his legs. This dude just put his hand down, stayed up, and threw a fucking touchdown. Couldn't believe it when I fucking saw it, bro. I was fucking furious. Like, yo, there's no way he just did that. They replayed it, and knee didn't go down. Hand kept him up, got up and threw a touchdown. One of the illest plays I've ever seen. But if answering the question, it's a tie between Marino and Elway.
Okay. So why did you leave Montana out? Is it the same reason James said, or is it just totally different?
Yeah, I mean, so remember what I said about Jerry Rice?
Yeah.
So he's throwing to Jerry Rice. You understand what I'm saying? He's in he was in the system, the West Coast offense when it was fresh. You understand what I'm saying? So he was with Bill Walsh. He was with Jerry Rice. He had those great teams around him. And I'm not trying to take anything away from him. But if you're asking me, and when I answer these type of questions, I pretty much go off of not the resume, not the hardware, but I go like, yo, is this the most talented quarterback I've ever seen? And that's what I'm going off of, just talent, not rings, Marino, Elway.
And that's why, so I'll go off rings, right? But when you add that other aspect to it, it has me as a football fan, as a person that, yes, I chose the Patriots, my team, but I have movies of the Green Bay Packers in my house, of the dynasty or the franchise. So I'm not a person that, and a lot of the books I do read are about the football. It's about football. It's not nothing else. But and that's why I don't read a lot. So when it takes my attention, I do it, and it's football. But when I went back during the podcast, I looked at the yards, right? That's what I looked at. And I didn't remember that Montana had more time in the 80s than Marino did. Because Montana was in the league in the 70s. I want to say 78, 79. Marino didn't come in the league to 83. So to give him a full decade's worth of scope, I was like, I didn't do it. But when I looked at the numbers, man, for 10 years, right, pretty much 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89. So for them 10 years that Montana was playing, he only had over 30,000 plus yards. Marino came in 83 and had 27,000 in those fucking 6 years. And it made me look at it like, yo, this dude was really slinging the ball. He just didn't have a defense. He didn't have a defense. But and then when I saw the numbers, Pete, I was like, I wanted to go back and change my answer. I wanted to go Marino. But I stuck to my guns because I don't want to be the hypocrite. But yeah, but I think Marino's that guy, man. Up until Brady, to me, Marino was the greatest quarterback of all time. That was just me at the time. And I got the top 100 players of all time on my Apple TV, like on my iTunes that I bought it. So you learn all the historian stuff, and I have a bunch of DVDs on football. But to me, until Brady, Marino, I would have gave Marino a nod just because the numbers he put up in that time frame. And this is before I understood that a system in coaching matters. He had the coach, he just didn't have the system. He didn't have what certain things had. And if you ask me the question today, I would go Marino. That's just me. It would be a contradiction to my shit, but it is what it is. When your name's on a podcast, you could just do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to find, June, you found it or no?
Yeah, I sent it to you.
Oh, you emailed it or texted, bro?
I texted it to you.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I found it. I'm trying to send y'all something. I'm going to show something that June had for his retirement that we did for him. If I could get this.
It was cool, man. They caught me off guard, man. They caught me off guard. I was sitting here, we're doing the play call, and they had a retirement gift, man. They reached out to my uncle. It was pretty dope.
I'm sending it to my computer so I can play it.
Yeah, it was pretty dope, man. They caught me off guard. Hey, don't tell them who it is. Just show my uncle when you get a chance.
Yeah, I got you, bro. I'm gonna show him as soon as it sends. How long was it?
Nah.
There we go.
50 seconds.
Sound like you dropped a tear, man.
Yeah, man. I'm telling you, man. They caught me off guard with this one, man. I was just sitting here, we were talking, and then right before my retirement, that week, they were like, "Here you go."
All right, man. I'm gonna share my screen with this, so y'all can see it. All right, let's go. Y'all can see that?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Chief, what's happening? Randall Cunningham. I wanted to say congratulations from Frank Presents, the Play Call Podcast. All righty, I just wanted to wish you a successful retirement as Chief Petty Officer Julio Munoz. I had a friend I grew up with named Munoz. Anyway, I want to say congratulations on 20 years of working in the Navy, serving in the Navy. We appreciate you. October 28, 2022, and it's done. Hey, man, thank you for serving for those 20 years and being an Eagles fan, and just really appreciate you, and God bless you with your retirement. Not only that, but I'm a SEAL Team guy. I watch SEAL Team like every single day. I've binge watched the show probably 4 seasons. No, there was 5 seasons. Now I'm in season 6, but I've already watched it about 4 times. All right, so I appreciate the work that you do. God bless you, Randall Cunningham.
Yeah,
Man,
we got
That
that,
was dope.
man.
yeah.
That was
I
dope.
definitely would have probably unannounced like that. I'd have dropped
Yeah,
some
it was.
tears.
That was really dope. Yo.
It was
Yeah, I didn't
unannounced.
even know what to say, man. I didn't know what to say. I was quiet as hell for a while, let it process, and I told everybody it's my uncle, and that's my uncle at the end of the day.
And I just finished saying, yo, I couldn't stand this dude, and then look, he comes and does this shit.
Hey,
That's
it's
how it
fair, man.
goes.
You couldn't stand the player. The person
Yeah,
did. That's
yeah,
fair.
that play was just crazy.
Nah,
It was
that's
crazy. I had the old Reebok, Randall Cunningham jersey I had got like years ago, and when I seen that video, I said, "That's it." I bought it at Mitchell and S. It cost me $382 that week. I didn't tell you guys, but
No, you did
I
not.
had to. Yeah, I got it. I think I wore it the next podcast. I had to. I was like, "Yo, it's a must." Like I had no choice. Like I feel like I had to get this. So you guys did that. That was your fault.
Don't blame. No, you're a grown man. You can make your own choices. All right, man. Well, if there no more topics, man, had a great time tonight recording. I think if I wanted to be the second episode of Offsides and probably the 100th of more of the play call that me and June done together. This is definitely some good chemistry, man. I enjoyed the input, the insight. It's like y'all made it so easy for me to transition from one question to the other because y'all was hitting me with the right thought. So I appreciate it. I'm gonna pass it around the room. People can say little, closing comments. We do things different. We don't have one person do it. Everybody does it. So I'm gonna go to James, then Pete, and then June gonna close it out. So James, you got any closing remarks?
Yeah, man. Always a blessing to get on and chop it up. Always in a positive light, and do what we do best: talk sports, and not only that, share our ideas. And brotherhood, fellowship. That's what I love about it, man. So I appreciate June for inviting me on. You for inviting me on. Like I said, always a good time, man. I wouldn't find no better way to waste my hour.
Pete, your go, bro.
Yo, this was dope, man. Appreciate the invite, man. Anytime I got the time and you hit me with the invite, I'll sign on, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. This is cool.
All right, June, you got it. Yeah, go ahead.
Hey man, I just want to say I appreciate it. You guys coming on here. It's a blessing. 2024. Like I said before, success and victory. That's definitely I got my damn Invisalign shit going on, so messing my list. But a success and victory is definitely the motto moving forward and locked in for 2024 for everyone. So hey, I hope all of our teams get it together this year. We get it right, and I got a lot of faith in the Eagles, man. And I'll see the Ravens in the Super Bowl. But other than that, Pete, hey, it's a blessing to see you, James.
Likewise, man.
We got to get together. It's a blessing to see you too. So I can give you your stuff. And Frank, I will see you in a couple of days. Pause. Let's get it.
Anyway, man, hey, the Bree Network, the play call, references the play call, the Bree Network, and now Offsides Podcast. Hit us up, follow us, like, share, subscribe. Stay with us. Peace.